Hello everybody and welcome back to Throttle Grotto. This episode of Carvellas is special, and I'm going to tell you why. Because this is the car that started Carvellas for me. This is the car that really got me thinking about telling the story. I walked past Nick's car at Radwood Sonoma, and I noticed it, but I really didn't ask about it. I didn't pay much attention to it. I didn't realize until later when he was talking about his car on the Radwood forum on Facebook how significant his car was and how much of an opportunity I missed by not telling the story. Fortunately, I was able to catch up with Nick at Radwood Norcal, and I was able to get him to tell the story of his Jetta GLI. So sit back and enjoy the next couple of minutes, because this will most likely be, for a long time, my favorite episode of Carvellas.
Hi, my name is Nick Degnan. This is my 1984 Jetta GLI two-door, as you can see. This was bought new by my family in Salinas, California, and has been with me ever since. It was the first car I ever rode in. I was brought home from the hospital in it, so it's kind of the family member that's not biologically related to me. A lot of people usually equate cars to girlfriends, other special things, but it's almost like a brother because it's been with me for so long. It gives me a lot of but it never lets me down when I need it. I was down at Laguna Seca for the historic races there. Coming back, I almost lost second and third. Probably about 20 miles away from home, but it still made it. That was a scary part. That's kind of like the you brother. I don't like that. But yeah, it still runs. It's all original, and I hope to keep it running long enough so that maybe my kids can enjoy it at some point. Either that, or I keep threatening my wife that I'm going to be buried in it. One of the two. So it's interesting. Only recently did I learn that it was actually something that might be special. So this car, I just started showing it I showed up to Radwood Hooptie-Con. Now we're here at Radwood Norcal, showing it again second time. I decided to go for royalty this time because after Hooptie-Con, I started looking into a little bit of my car's history because I just knew there weren't a lot of two-doors around. After digging around online, I found that it is possibly one of 5 GLI two-doors that were ever sold in the US. Which kind of threw me for a shock, and I'm still trying to hunt down the whole history of how it came to be here, because according to everybody online, it doesn't exist. This car shouldn't be here. I should be falling down onto the grass. So that's kind of the very brief synopsis of this car. So it was always the car that was just sitting in the garage. For the longest time, my mom would just daily it over the hill. Over Highway 17, just coming into work. So it was the car that I always had growing up and always loved it. But it's kind of like the problems where you always have something around, you don't always appreciate it until you really have to start dealing with it. My dad had the great affinity towards Volkswagens, and I come from a Volkswagen family. My mom's had, before they got this, she had a combination of Beetles. So she had 3 in total, and I don't know if it was 2 Supers and 1 regular or the other way around. Then my dad had 2 Scirocco's, the original with 4 quads, and then he got a second one that was the Mark II style, where it had the squares. And that one he was always working on converting that to like SCCA stock to do solo stuff, but he sadly passed away before that could have happened, so that just kind of rotted away. He actually, part of the reason that I hold on to this car so dearly is because of my father. He did a lot of stuff with this car. He did multiple track days. He used to drive this thing in anger quite often. So I've got some of the tracks up that it's been on for. one of the big things he used to do, because he used to actually go to De Anza College a little bit down in South Bay. They do a yearly thing called Duel at De Anza, and so he did that a lot. Part of it is just it's my connection to him, because he was right where I'm sitting, rowing through these same gears, dealing with that terrible lack of power steering. And the AC that's broken and hasn't worked since probably the late 80s.